with a new theater company at the beginning is very exciting, along with doing original scripts, original plays. And of course, working with people that, having worked with John, not necessarily Jean, but having worked with John, I know that you're on the same page as far as my beliefs about how production should be done, how a theater company should be run. I'm just looking forward to the whole experience, the whole process.
Yeah, I'll drink to that, but then I'll drink to anything. I'm excited about the fact that it's an ambitious project. I like the fact that I'm working with my wife, who I know is a consummate professional, and I like the subject matter. The opportunity to do something new and to do something with locally written material that is top flight material. I mean, it's not the kind of I mean, I know a lot of people like Neil Simon, a lot of people like Tennessee Williams. This is fresh, this is original stuff, and as somebody that's been doing theater for a while now, I can tell you with authority that this is some of the best writing I've ever seen.
My character is named Veronica. She is in the play 2.5, which deals with the monument that stands where the four corners come together. And I'm not real sure what those four corners are, but it's somewhere in the Southwest, I know that much. My character is kind of, she's got some real depth to her, and at first you might think that she's crazy, nuts, because here's this woman standing by this monument, and then she starts talking to this other woman that's visiting the monument, and she's talking about how the actual monument could be off by 2.5 miles or 1,800 feet, and she's read the National Geodetic Survey. But then as the play progresses, you find out some of the reasons why she's chosen to go to this monument, and she in turn brings to light for the other woman that's visiting something special about that area, and what it means to her and what it could mean to somebody else if they only took the time to look. So I find it very very well written, very a challenge as an actress, but I think it's a wonderful piece, and I look forward to doing it.
Did you want to talk about the other character? Oh, okay. That is just
my
yours.
character.
Just yours. Okay. There are some great characters that I play. 3 of them. My favorite is the newspaper reporter and narrator for Whatever Happened to Big Nose George. This guy is a cynic, I think, by looking at the duality of the American character, And when I say that, I'm saying that in the context of Awesome America. It's a title that sounds almost Disney. It is not. It focuses on areas of the American character that are often overlooked, and in some cases, maybe even rightly so. But to get back to the point, the newspaper reporter in Big Nose George is looking at some savagery in the American West, not the kind of savagery that one would expect from movies that was being perpetrated by the Indians. And by the way, they were taught much of that by the French. But the kind of hypocrisy that's perpetrated by a congressman, a governor rather, who wears shoes made out of the skin of a hanged criminal. It's his character is a guy that's appalled by that, and he has to live in this kind of an environment, and therefore he becomes rather cynical and becomes a commentator on the world at large. He certainly doesn't condone it, but that's part of Americana. That's what we do. And it's an interesting lesson too. It's the kind of an opportunity to be a character that has lots of levels. There are so many levels to this guy, and it's the challenge to me as an actor is to internalize all of that and come out with the most germane portion of that character that conveys all of that to the audience in a very limited time. And that's always a challenge of an actor, but in this particular piece, quite frankly, I think I've got the best part. Henry, in one of the other plays, is a
2.5.
Right, 2.5 is a park ranger. There are similarities with him and Bainbridge. This is a fella that has probably been to the big city and maybe even grew up there and has a different point of view. He's not quite as cynical as he is sympathetic to people who are looking for something that they want to be there, that they think ought to be there, but that isn't there, and thank God it isn't. So there's sort of a parody between that character and Bainbridge. The other character that I plan on having a hell of a lot of fun with is Frank.
In Perspectives on the John.
In Perspectives on the John, correct. This is a guy who doesn't know what the word parody means, and he doesn't care. He's wondering where his next Lone Star is coming from. And there's nothing quite as good looking as a row of pretty shitter seats.
Well, it's rather limited in that Kevin and I just moved here. It will be a year ago in September, and earlier at the beginning of this year I was in Theater Suburbia's production of Play On. I played Jerry, the director, with a wonderful cast directed by Laura Schlecht, and it was a wonderful experience, and I enjoyed it, and I hope to do more work there in the future.
I had been in a production of Theater Southwest called An Act of the Imagination, directed by the creative and always competent Anaka Konitz. I had the opportunity to learn from one of the best character actors I've ever seen. I don't know why this guy hasn't gone to Hollywood, Scott Holmes. But in every production, I learned something. And in that production, I played a police detective, which I usually play probably because of my stature. They just see me as a policeman. And so I've since learned the entire Texas Penal Code.
I don't know, I haven't spoken to Kevin about it, but I would certainly like to audition for Maui Wowie, which is the next production after the Awesome America. I would also like to do something that I occasionally do now, but it was what I did originally. As you can probably tell, but I often say I don't have an accent. But I'm from the Midwest, and I did, originally I got into this because I'm a voice major and I love doing musicals. And I've done a number of them. I did dinner theater in Chicago, and so I would be interested in auditioning maybe for some musicals in the future. So.
I have no idea. It depends on the opportunity that comes up. Personally, I'd like to get in. You know, one thing I've always wanted to do is Willie Loman from Death of a Salesman, and I'm at the right age. I've got the right hairline for it, the right girth. I'm there, man. That's what I want to do. And after Willie Loman, I don't know. Sky's the limit.
I'm just really looking forward to this opportunity to be there at the beginning. I remember back in California, which is where we're from, I was in the original production of a Shakespeare festival that started in Redlands, California. And it was just a wonderful thing to be there at the beginning of something. And also, I gotta say, I am so looking forward to working with my husband again in a show. I also think that he is a wonderful, wonderful actor, and he brings a lot to whatever he does on stage. So I'm really looking forward to that. And also to working with the company and Gene and John, and I think it's going to be a wonderful experience.
You know, as the economy continues to not do so well, there's nothing quite as cathartic, as therapeutic as the arts. And when you have a good cast, when you have inspired writing, when you have directors who care, and actors and actresses who are excited and want to put their best into it, this becomes the best part of life, which is something new, something exciting, and something that's uniquely healing. Art does that. It takes a bad situation, it takes all of the trials and tribulations of an uncertain world and makes that world new again for the patron. When they leave that theater, there's a feeling that they've gained something, and it's a wonderful feeling, and that's ultimately what keeps us young and keeps us creative and keeps us looking forward to the next day. And so that's the great part of being in theater, not only in Houston but part of a creative process in any venue, anywhere, at any time. And I'm looking forward to working with my wife and being with her. And I hope you all enjoy it.
Cheers, dear.